Boom. Welcome back to the All-Purpose Pod for an all-purpose life, wherever you are and however you listen to the Call Me Mr. You, the podcast. Thanks again for making us a part of your morning, your day, and your week. We're your weekly mirror check before you change the world. Go out there and get it, baby. Happy birthday to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Herb.
Oh, I was wondering who you're about to say.
You, man. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
How was it, man?
It was good. It was good. Started Friday night. Saturday night, and continued on into Sunday. And then by the end of Sunday, I was like, "Look, man, I got to be able to get up Monday morning." So I'm going to slow down.
Today, huh?
Yeah, so I'm going to slow down just a little bit. Yep.
All right, bro. How was your weekend, brother?
Good. Yeah, it's we were celebrating my wife's birthday over the weekend. So
sweet.
Nice.
Why you didn't say that, man? We could send some love her way. I mean, okay. Yeah. She would think we don't like her or something. Not like that.
Right.
I didn't know.
She has a waterfall and a river in the backyard. Like she ain't
That's
worried
right.
about.
That's right.
She don't care about us. She gets her own stream, so who cares what we think? I get it. But
good stuff. No, it was fun. It was fun.
Well, good. Happy birthday to her too, man.
Please,
Yep.
Send her way, please. Well, let's get to a few things here. Last week we had a nice little spirited conversation about the Cowboys, and I think we were on the Wednesday wrap up. I think it was the days of starting to move together. All this moving and painting, man. I don't know what today is. I think today's Monday. I think we're doing that Monday thing. I think right
It's
now.
that Monday thing.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for the help. But we had a little spirited conversation about the Cowboys and whether they should embrace a rebuild or not. Put a poll question out on Twitter. I didn't have a whole lot of votes, but enough to get the point across. 86% said the Cowboys should embrace a full rebuild. So we put that out there because I think that there's something I want to get into that situation with Darren Bland, their safety, but I'm not sure we're gonna have time for it today. But they got to look at something different because what's going on right now with their money, and we talked about, I think it was on Wednesday, about Prescott, Micah Parsons. I'm missing the third guy. Who's the third guy? Who's up?
CD
Lamb.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a lot of mouths to feed, and I don't think they got it. So somebody, if they retain one, that's probably their best case scenario. Two is going to be a real stretch out of those three people. So I agree with the poll question and the results. I think they should embrace it, not because I'm a Giants fan. I think they should do it anyway because they've been skating for a while and not really getting to the place where they should have the kind of results that they should have with what they're spending and the talent they're bringing in, which they're very good at doing. Jerry's great at bringing the talent in. But like Bo intimated last week, he starts putting his nose in there and everything goes left most of the time. It's been going on for almost 30 years, just for perspective. It's not like we just throwing dirt on them. It's been 28, 29 years of ineffectiveness. So that poll question, I think, is accurate. Any thoughts on the Cowboys rebuild? You can get into it as much as you want. We got time. So is that do you agree with that?
I wouldn't say they haven't been effective. I mean, they've been 12-5 the last 3 years. So it's not like they're out there being terrible, but they just can't get anything done in the postseason.
That still matters in sports, right? We still want to do that. We still want to win stuff.
But it's not like they won 4 games last year.
No, I know that.
They still had a good team. But yeah, I mean, it's time to blow this thing up because they're not going to be able to keep everybody.
Yeah. Right. And also because it feels like they've hit their ceiling too at the same time. So it's both of those two things, like you said, regular season success, playoff flameouts. Like, if you manage to keep this group all together, like those three together, and shaved off like everything else you had to shave off just to do it right, in a hypothetical world, right? Are you doing better than what you did last year? No, right? Your team's not going to be any better, right? So It's like it does seem, but I don't think Jerry Jones' pride would let him do a full rebuild, but I think he'll try to do some kind of semi one and fail at that and be worse off. So I'd embrace the whole thing. The worst thing to do is be mediocre. So
exactly.
I'll comment on that real quick after we say good morning, Mom. Thank you for joining us again, Mom. Always so faithful. We appreciate you so much.
Good morning.
I guess you could decide what you want to have, because if you like where you are and the it's not average, because I would say they're above average, at least in the regular season where it's concerned. I mean, they had the 5th quarterback in the league last year, so it wasn't like they were just scrubs. Nobody ever said that anyway, so I don't know where that's even coming from. I'm not saying that, but in regards to their,
I don't think anybody said they were scrubs.
No, we're good. In regards to staying where they are in the regular season and not going any further than that, or can't get out of the playoffs, it's like some teams might be cool with that. I mean, I don't want to think for them. I don't know where their heads are at. Maybe you guys have insight. Maybe you guys listen to some of their podcasts, so you might know what their total mindset is. But some folks might be cool with that. They may want to be just stay on the precipice, and maybe if they stay there long enough in their minds, they may one day get over the hump, or they want to go ahead and just fix the problem areas and just make it to where they want it to be, our championship teams. I don't know how that works for them. I mean,
I feel like Jerry Jones has been pretty clear that he wants Super Bowls.
Okay.
Which makes last year's flame out in the playoffs even more surprising that no one got fired. Like, I think we were all going into that thinking, if this isn't a good playoff run, someone's getting fired, and then they lost the first game in spectacular fashion and he didn't get fired. That was, to me, like one of those, like, you have to fire that guy. You can't say, hey, I won a Super Bowl, lose the first game at home, and go, we'll just run it back. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's not all in, I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So,
okay. Ahead,
and now you're basically saying, like, hey, you better prove it this year, but I'm not going to back you like I did last year.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I don't get it.
He's all in on the rebuild. That's what it is.
Yes. It's like, for Jerry Jones, I think he just likes having scapegoats sometimes, to be totally honest. And it's like, who can I blame when this goes bad?
Yeah, I mean, that's why you keep bringing in bad coaches.
Yeah.
You gotta look in that mirror at some point in time. You just have to.
I don't think he's got that ability.
Everybody out, and the only person that's left on the team that hasn't been moved out is you.
Yeah.
Look, maybe he's a vampire. He can't see himself in the mirror.
Yes, which would be fair. Would be totally fair. At least if he came out and just said that, I'd be like, okay, well, it makes sense now.
They move coaches. Right. They move
players.
They moved players. They moved
Alabama fans are still mad about the Amari Cooper thing when he basically just threw him under the bus and gave him away for a draft pick. And then they spent like the next couple of years trying to find a second receiver to go along CeeDee Lamb. I was like, if only you had one that was already on the team that helped elevate your. It's like they forgot what happened when he got there and what Dak went through, a huge boost in play. So I don't know. It's just stuff like that bothers me.
I mean, we see the backlash from I don't know if you guys are seeing the backlash from the Cowboys fans and stuff when we talk about stuff like this. They get really apoplectic. I don't know what sets them off and gets them triggered, but it's like we're talking about 28 years. I mean, you can say what you want to say, oh, Jerry's this and Jerry's that, but we're talking about 28. You know how some people watch the show, listen to the show, are not even that old. They weren't even born then. We're talking about 28 years, man. So when I'm talking about, hitting the same place and falling back down, it's like, come on, man. After that much time, you got to do something different. I think the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, right?
Yep.
Well, how are you trying to run it back every year and it doesn't make sense in my brain. I'm glad it's not my team because I'll be apoplectic too. I'm like, what are we talking about here? Almost 30 years? You're going to do this again for 2 more years? You're going to be making a clean 30?
Well, just one for sure, because everybody gets fired at the end of the year, no matter how it goes down.
Yeah, everybody gets fired, but the one constant stays the same.
And it just means that next year they're going to be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
One could only hope. All right. The other poll question I put out there was in regards to Antoine Winfield. I'm sorry I can't find the source where I found it, but he is the highest paid safety in the NFL history. I did see that, and we talked about that last week. It's kind of the next man, because next week it's going to be somebody else probably who's going to circumvent that number and be higher than that. But one of the sources, it's a verifiable source. I can't remember the name of it though. I didn't write it down, but they were saying that he's the best in the game. I want to ask you guys that. It's our poll question. I'll put it up in the comments while you guys are thinking about it. But is he the best safety in the game? Well, Pro Football Focus thinks that he's the number one safety in the game.
Right.
He's like 90.5.
90.7, yeah.
90.7 average there. So they think he's the best in the game. Run defense, pass rush numbers are stellar in comparison to other safeties. Is he the best in the game today? Not all time, but just in the best in the game today. Just something to be thinking about. But while you're doing that, I want to get back to that question we had last week that we ended the show on, and it got so good we couldn't finish it in time. But we're going to go ahead and kick the show off with that today. And I'll drop the poll question in the comments for those people who are watching and listening to us. In regards to the Giants at quarterback, we talked a lot about Daniel Jones throughout the course of the season. Wasn't always my plan to do so. It just kind of happened to be it made sense talking about contracts and rookies coming in, things of that nature. And we mentioned Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Now, recap for me why we went that direction and where we were going with that.
I mean, we were just talking because they're on 1-year deals. Mm-hmm. And as it sits right now, the Giants don't really have a clear front runner at quarterback. Yep. Like they're not really backing Daniel Jones. Plus, you don't really know if he's going to be ready anyway. And then you got Drew Lock. You got the dude from the CFL.
Nathan Warp.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, mind blanking his name. You know, so it's and what DeVito's still on there, right?
Yeah,
I think you're currently carrying 4.
Yeah, I guess he's the third theoretically.
But no. I mean, you're carrying 4 quarterbacks. But at the same time, you're looking at that quarterback room. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, right? So then all of a sudden you're looking around. Are you going to be too good to get a draft pick that's quality next year? Yeah, because there's probably only 2 quality quarterbacks coming out. You're not going to be the worst team in the league. So then you look at, okay, there's going to be some free agents that are going to be better than what's on your roster. Because, I mean, Fields or Wilson would probably be an upgrade from what you currently have. I mean, you can't tell me that Wilson is worse than Daniel Jones. I mean, if you're trying to tell me that, you are absolutely out of your mind.
Okay.
And cheaper, too.
Go ahead, Herb.
No, I was just saying, and way cheaper at that point, too. So.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess it honestly depends on where the Giants end up. You know, it's like you're looking at their win totals. I just picked them out of 2 places, and it's like 6.5. You know, so if you beat that by a couple, you know, you're at like the 8 or 9 picking. You know, you beat that by 3 games, you know, you're probably more in like the 11 to 12 range. Like you said, like it or not, it seems like Beck and Sanders are your top 2 prospects right now as you're looking at them.
And you won't be in position to get either one of them.
And you won't be in a position for those. And then you're kind of looking in the Ewers, Milroe, Cam Ward range. A lot of question marks, you know, up and down those. Are those honestly like franchise guys?
Are they
Ewers
any
probably
better than what you have?
Yeah.
I mean,
so it's like, you know, and how many of them would actually be ready to play next year, even if you got like out of that whole group? Probably Beck is your best. Sanders, you really don't know what you're getting yet, you know, and then after, like I said, after that, maybe Ewers, depending on how this year goes. But if he gets hurt again, you're thinking he's gotten hurt every year in college. So what are we, you know what I mean? Just a lot of question marks if you're thinking next year. And then, like you said, the better you do this next year to beat that win total, the worse your pick is for it. So now you're, you know, in the 13 to 14 range, trying to pick up a quarterback. Yeah, I don't know. Not in a non-deep draft for it. So.
I haven't seen any mocks, so I have no idea who's even down there. It's like, okay, is that what we're thinking about?
Yeah, and that's what I pulled up. I pulled up 3, and they were pretty consistent on that. Beck, Sanders, Ewers, Milroe, Cam Ward, and then Drew Allar from Penn State. And I was like, all right, we've really dropped off a cliff because I'm like,
right?
If that's number 6, I'm like,
no can do, sir.
Yeah,
that number 6 is probably an undrafted free agent.
Yes, you know what I mean? Like. So, Yeah, and Cam Ward's a guy they thought has a lot of talent, but again, he just transferred again. So, I don't really know what I think about that situation.
I felt like we touched on something else last week in regards to this, because I think I'm blanking out on this, but it was in the same conversation. I just don't know what we're missing here. But so in regards to
it's because we were talking about the value of Prescott's contract, and we were just using the benchmark as Daniel Jones because it was we're looking at it as he's going to get 50 plus for sure, because you have Daniel Jones, who is not in the upper echelon of quarterback play, getting 40, right? So when you have Prescott, who was arguably roughly the 5th quarterback overall last year, he's going to make some money.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's where that comparison came in, is you're making the benchmark of the last big deal for like a mid quarterback as Daniel Jones.
So Russell Wilson / or Justin Fields, we like them better than a quarterback in the draft. I guess that's easy for me to say that because look at where the quarterbacks are potentially going to be drafted at. It's not like it's Drew Allen. That's not. I'm not trying to hear that.
No, like if it was coming out this year, right? Like if your option was going to be Wilson or Fields or the draft class at quarterback that you had this year, you're taking a flyer on this year's quarterbacks, right? Because you're going to save money on that rookie contract and everything. But going into next year, because it's so limited, all of a sudden now you're looking at, well, maybe I take a vet and as a bridge guy until we get
and
a
put
guy
it off another year.
draft.
Yeah, this is it's an interesting strategy. I'm not quite sure what the Giants are doing. I went on record. I've even been on other shows that I've been invited on, and I'm not going to backtrack on what I said. I don't feel like the Giants should have reached for a quarterback this year.
Right.
I feel like what they did was the right thing. If you don't like neighbors that much, whatever, that's a separate conversation. But they did what they're supposed to do. I feel like if my old coach Jim Harbaugh didn't grab Joe Alt, we would have took him. But a quarterback probably wasn't going to be their approach to all of this stuff. So with that being said, when you're sitting in that room, it's like, okay, so what are you thinking? Because do you really believe that Daniel Jones and Drew Lock are long-term solutions? No, I don't think you think that. If they do, I'm very shocked. So if you don't think that, you must have another plan in place for quarterback then.
It's funny. Your fan base is actually pretty high on Lock.
Yeah, but come on.
I'm just saying there's a lot of Giants fans that are really high on Lock.
Yeah, but okay. If you're talking about Giants fans, that's a whole different conversation. Are we really doing that? Because most of them Giants fans don't know what the heck they're talking about. They ain't been around that long. They've been around less time than the Cowboys been unable to get to the even the playoffs and get the Super Bowl. They ain't been born that long. So it's not that's not what we're gonna do. So if that's the case, and you knew that you wasn't before a quarterback, you must have some kind of plan. It couldn't have been Quinn Ewers as your plan for this year.
No.
You ain't trading them for Shador. I don't think they're gonna do any of that stuff like that. So it's like, what's your plan then? So I know they got 4 guys. I guess we can include Russ. I guess we can, but Dak, I guess he's supposed to be a free agent at some point next year. I guess Tua, which I know Raj does not want to hear that, but his contract comes up. Jordan Love, we forget about. He played so well last year, but I think he played on his 5th or his 4th year, 4th or 5th year last year. And then Justin Fields, of course, his name came up already in conversation. So these are guys that are going to be out here. Maybe some more, but I don't know who they are. Maybe you can pull the names up and see who else has who's going to be a free agent at quarterback going into next year. So I don't know if the Giants are thinking about that part, but you can't be thinking about anybody from in the draft. I don't know how to manage that.
Dallas's are right because Cooper Rush is also up. Trey Lance is up. Like all of their quarterback room is gone.
And you think I'm concerned about that because you think I want Cooper Rush?
No, you were just saying which ones are available.
I'm talking about Giants. You know what I want, man. I want to take you want for the Seahawks, man. Come on. You know what I want. Give me another name. Somebody else. Anybody else. So it's I don't know what they're thinking because I get the part about the fact you already paid DJ and you got to try to get, out of this with as much damage as possible, as little damage as possible. So after this year, the Giants are able to do that. I forgot the number. I've been quoting the number for like, I don't know, about 4 weeks. Now I can't remember the number. But it's a significant cap savings. I think it's somewhere between 28 and 36. Somewhere around there. But anyway, it's significant cap savings for the Giants if they let him loose after this year. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they're going to do that. But this little so-called quarterback competition, I don't know where we are with this. I'd rather have Drew Lock playing.
I think you save money if you let him go even this year after June. After June 1st, right?
I think so.
I think you could save money if you let him go today now.
Yeah, I think it's like I think the number changes depending on
June
when.
1st is usually a benchmark date for some of the cap hits.
I think that's like 28.2 after June the 1st. But I think at the end of the season, I think that number's somewhere in the 30s.
Well, no. So if it was pre-June 1st, I think it was going to be in the upper 30s. And then post-June 1st, I think it was down in the 20s somewhere. So, I mean, if you wanted to get rid of him, if you were happy with the rest of the quarterback room, you could move on from Jones now without it being horrendous. Wouldn't be the, Denver, Russell Wilson cap hit kind of thing.
Well, I don't know if any of those 4 guys that I named are actually viable options for us. I doubt very highly that the Packers are going to not want to do something else with Jordan Love and re-up with him. Especially after
they're re-signing him.
I don't see his name being in. As far as Tua goes, it's probably the same category. I don't see Miami not wanting to do something with him and bring him back. I mean, what are your options? Who's back there? Does anybody even know who's behind Tua? Because I have no clue. As far as that goes, I guess that's a question. I heard his name linked to the Giants so many times, but I don't know how to even stomach the idea of that. No. Not because of the numbers, just because of the Cowboys Giants fans. It just feels weird.
Yeah. The money definitely. I know you said not think about the money, but the money comes into play there too. You're not paying that $50 billion to come to your team. You know.
No.
I'm trying to find out who wants to do that.
Well, and he's going to make north of 50. Like he's probably going to be close to 60 mil.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with Justin Fields, essentially. Or somebody outside of the draft. It's like that's the options. Yeah. That's it.
This draft's going to be rough. Looks like if you need a quarterback, it's going to be rough.
It doesn't look good. He's not right now.
I mean, you're just not getting one. Like, I mean, unless you are the worst team in the league, you're pretty much not getting one.
I'm not thrilled. No. All right. So staying in the realm of the, you know what? Let's pivot a little bit on what we're talking about with Kate and Clark, and then we'll come back to the post-June cuts, and I'll give you a chance to grab some info real quick too. So I don't know if I know you guys have been seeing things recently with the whole Kennedy Carter situation with the little pick play that wasn't even part of the whole.
It was a non-basketball play.
It was just a whole separate. You know what? I'm going to tackle you right here. You know the ball's not even coming to you. You're not even involved in this. But
I mean, she just yells "Yo B" and blasts her. You're like, I mean, okay, like, sup, Draymond? What are we doing right now?
I didn't hear the audio, and I'm glad because it probably would have been like even more than like, really. This is getting super personal now. We talked about jealousy on Wednesday on a wrap up and just some other factors of what could be causing this, but man, it's to the point now I'm starting to really wonder what are we watching right now?
Well,
because hold on, baby. It goes beyond just the whole rookie coming in and she's the number one in college basketball and coming in on a high tide and number one overall pick going to Indiana, who definitely needed help there. That's why they were picking number one. And then it's like everybody doesn't like you, even your own teammates don't seem to be quick to come and help you. It's very interesting. They put basketball that you and I say that we love so much, like in the 90s, they had enforcers and say everybody had their, like, if you want to call Bill Laimbeer that, or if you want to call what's your boy? Oh man. Well, Ben Wallace was considered something like that as well, or even Draymond most recently. Everybody had their enforcers, and it was their job. They'll come in and take fouls. They hit somebody hard, you know what, and they'd be willing to get those fouls out because that was their role. It's their job. They come inside there just to do that. They were basically hired thugs for the most part. And it's like, where's that on the Indiana Fever? Who's going back? They got enough big people on that team. Why nobody's backing her up? I'm like, what are we missing here? What are you thinking, Bo?
I was just going to say, Kennedy Carter has a history of it.
She does.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, she gets let go from Atlanta for threatening to beat up a teammate, right? Yep. This is why I made the Draymond Green comparison, and then so she's let go for conduct detrimental, right? Then she goes to the Sparks, and she's waived poor conduct, and now she's here. And again, this is away from the ball stuff, right? Right. So, I mean, clearly there's some character things going on there. Right. So, does it have something to do with Caitlin Clark? Is there jealousy involved? Probably. But she's also shown that she's just a Draymond Green kind of goon out there. Yeah. Right.
And they were barking at each other like the whole game too. So there was like people are watching that highlight and acting like, they were shaking hands and hugging the whole game, and all of a sudden she just hip checked her. No, I mean, go watch like the rest of the game. They were barking at each other the whole time. So I mean, it doesn't excuse it. It was still this dumb, non-basketball play. But there was like some build up to it before it happened. And can I just say, all these people that are out here,
literally the play before it. Right. They were barking on their way back down to that end of the floor. So, I mean, it wasn't unexpected if you were watching. Right. But at the same time, you're usually at least kind of hiding it into a game moment. Right. You're not just like, oh, the ball is still out of bounds, let me blast somebody. Right. Like that's not generally how you end up doing it. You usually wait till that inboard is coming in and you act like you were trying to box out. Right. Not just like, hey, let me flatten you real quick.
Right. And I think a smarter player would have given her a nice little hip check while it, grab the ball, turn to the ball. Ref, I got the ball. You know what I mean? Like something versus what just happened. So, and all the people like, oh my God, Caitlin Clark got assaulted. She'd be kicked out for that. I'm like, come on now. We've seen worse. Angel Reese got choke slammed and everybody was like, I mean, okay. So let's not.
I mean, that one was brutal. Yeah. Like straight grabbed her around the neck, threw her to the ground. Also no play on the ball. Right. Didn't even attempt the ball. But she got tossed, right?
Yeah, she got tossed.
Rightfully so. She got tossed. I actually thought there was a chance that Carter was going to get tossed because it was away from the ball. It was still out of bounds. Like play hadn't even started. So that was one where you're like, I mean, that's about as flagrant as you could get.
Right. It is weird. They gave Carter a flagrant after the game. I was like, really? It took that to get there? I thought that would have been a no-brainer.
Yeah, I feel like if you knock someone to the floor, the ball is still out of bounds. I feel like that's pretty flagrant, right? Yeah.
This is weird, man.
Yeah. But somebody was posting highlights and stuff like Candace Parker went through a similar thing when she first joined the league. When everybody, that's just how they bring rookies into the game. Not the Carter one. That's a total separate, but just in general. And then I do think there's an element of people are acting like this the first time they've ever had good players in the WNBA. Yeah. It's like people are commenting on every single one. Oh my God, could you believe that? And like I said, somebody went on post like, guys, this has actually been a thing for a while. Here you go. Here's what Candace Parker went through her rookie season, and she still got MVP, man rookie of the year. So like it happens. It's just this is the most high profile person you've had in a while, and so there is going to be some jealousy.
I mean, yeah, man, but it's almost like it's an uncontrolled rage. You know what I'm saying? Rage probably isn't good, period, but there's a control rage and there's an uncontrolled rage. This one's like, it don't even matter that the cameras are on you. It's away from the balls. Like, I'm just like, I want to hurt you so bad. I don't care what happens to me. You know what I'm saying? That feels like it's like jealousy on steroids. It's like it's just different. And I'm like, I don't get where that part's coming from. And I'm not even going into the thing that people talk about with race. I'm not even trying to do that because I feel like it's not so much about that. I feel like I said about the Indiana teammates, that's egregious to me. That coach, they should be rallying around you. Now, I don't know if they played the game since then because I'm really not watching that much, just to be honest about it.
Yeah, they got blown out. They got blown out yesterday.
Okay, did you see any kind of camaraderie and teammate and protection for? Did you see any of that stuff in that game?
But if you listen,
he was injured too.
They think that the coach is doing a terrible job anyway. And I mean, look, you've had,
they're 2-8.
Yeah. Well, they've had back-to-back. I mean, back-to-back number 1 overall selections, and I think the year before that they were picking like number 3. That's tough to do in consecutive years.
Right.
It all is any sport, so it's already a bad team. And yeah, you can tell that like when stuff like this happens, there is no rally around.
No, I mean they're not even trying to walk over and help her up off the floor.
No.
They're just like, you're on the floor again. Yeah. Man,
that's not right at all.
Yeah. I'm most honestly disappointed in Boston. I mean, because she's the number 1 overall pick and a big down low. That's the person I'm expecting to go bump somebody and get away with it. Go up for a rebound, like Bo said, hip check somebody. I come down with the ball, and if the ref calls it, I'm looking at like, what happened? Even though I know what happened. You know what I mean? Just I expect something. Man. I remember like the Chris Webber days when he laid out John Stockton coming through the middle just to set a message for the beginning of the game,
and ran down the court so much.
If you do it in a basketball move, though, you take the foul, you call it a day, you sent your message, cool. Yeah. But if you're away from the ball, play hasn't started, man, it's hard to keep you in the game like that. Because that is an obvious flagrant. The fact that she got it later makes no sense at all.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like people in the stands were like, I feel like that was probably flagrant. Like the ball hadn't come in yet.
Yeah. That was an obvious one.
Without belaboring the point, I feel like I need to try to color on both sides of this. And I'm wondering, is this something that we don't know about when it comes to Caitlin Clark? Because the level of anger is like incredible. Now, and what I've seen after I thought about that was some articles about some I guess some trash talking that was coming from her and some other things. I'm like,
she's always been that way.
So she talks, but she also complains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flop that I saw, it was the I think it was the Angel Reese one. That was straight up flop city right there.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, the Angel didn't move her hands, and you felt them. Yeah, that's not good. So there could be at least two sides to the coin in regards to that.
Oh, there definitely is. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you real quick, Caitlin Clark fans are not helping because I hope Raj isn't listening. They're turning into like LeBron fans, where it's like defend at all costs and don't look at any, because I had a post one time, guy asked about Caitlin Clark. I said, well, her season hadn't been that great. And they're like, oh, look how many points she's averaging and look at how many assists she's averaged. She's doing great. It's the rest of the team's fault. And I said, well, here's her shooting percentages, not good. Turnovers high. Not shooting well from three. I mean, it's okay, but let's not just throw everybody else under the bus and say Caitlin Clark is the best thing to ever happen. There have been great rookies. And to that other point you're making, like Asia Wilson, two-time champ, MVP candidate every year, defensive player of the year, didn't get a signature shoes like till after Caitlin Clark. It's like stuff like that guys are like, that people are like, look, there was a league before her. We realize that she's one of the best things to come in here and bring a lot of attention. But let's not act like everybody here was scrubs before she got here and then that she's the greatest ever. She's having a rough season and her team's having a rough season. So there is other stuff going on.
The thing that makes me laugh is the ones that are in the league that are coming out and talking. Most of them are ones that aren't great. Right.
You're right.
Because you have, Carter here being like, oh, all she shoots is three. What else does she bring? It's like, I mean, try to stay on a team for an entire season. Then maybe we can listen to what you're saying. Right?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Because the people I'm mentioning are not the people that are coming out and complaining. Wilson's not saying anything. Most of Vegas not saying anything. They could be on New York. Like the teams that are good, they're just like, look, we're still going to be good and continue to go. So for Carter, it's probably the most publicity she's got because honestly, that rap sheet that you read, I didn't know that until after this incident. So it's probably been the best thing that's happened to her.
Yeah, no, exactly.
they may feel the same way. They're not saying anything about it publicly. They may feel exactly the same way. We've been here doing this all this time. That ain't Caitlin Clark's fault. We talked about it before. We didn't even know when the season started. Whose fault was that? Marketing. Right. When did they play?
Yeah.
What did they play this week? We don't even know that kind of stuff. It's like, so it's not all her about her. Yeah. But right. I see why they got to target at somebody, because where else do you put it? You can't put it on management because it's kind of ambiguous. You don't know who is that.
Right.
Who's in charge of that part? Who does that role? But her, she's the face of the WNBA, and you guys been here forever, and you guys didn't have a face then. So it's not hard to lash out. So I get it's not good, but I still get why that's happening. Okay, so here we have some news on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, like somebody had just posted
this morning, man. I missed it.
Yeah. So a 4-year, $140 million contract extension, $110 million guaranteed. This makes him not only the highest paid wide receiver in history, the highest paid non-QB in NFL history. So $88.7 million due at signing. I just want to borrow $1 or $2, like,
right?
Like, can we just hang out for the weekend? It was my birthday, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, if I'm gonna ask for something, I'm gonna ask for more than $1 now. I ain't gonna be hypocritical here. I'm asking for more than $5. Somebody who got 140, 110 of his guaranteed. Can I borrow?
88 when you put your pen to 88 when you put your pen on the paper. Like,
that is amazing.
Yes.
Wow. That is, he definitely reset the market.
There is no question. So now that CD contract really gets interesting.
Yep. We
told you, right? Don't wait until this part happened right here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And now, Chase still has to sign his too, right? So, I mean, we got a couple that.
No.
I
wonder what Chase is going to ask for. I wonder if you're going to want more.
I think they both want more.
Yeah. So
in some way.
Does this push Chase up and push Higgins out totally then? Like, is that all just about?
Oh, no question.
So it is crazy the dominoes that come from something like this. Like, we're not even in Minnesota. Why does this affect us? Sorry, bud. Should have signed yours first.
Yep.
I still want him on our team, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because T. Higgins he could probably want a lot of money as well. He probably sitting there like, what about me? I can't even imagine what's going on in his head right now. But he probably can't afford him. Unless it's Darren Waller doesn't work out and we are able to get rid of him. We'll save about $16.9 million. Maybe we can make that work for him, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind playing in New York. But I don't know.
Now all of a sudden, some of those smaller contracts, you're like, I mean, maybe they're all right. The guys you were thinking about pushing out the door, now you're like, maybe this is okay.
Yeah, we're just playing. No, come back. We're good.
We're cool.
Congrats to him. He's staying in Minnesota with Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy.
I mean, if someone's willing to give you $110 million guaranteed, you'll be willing to weather some kind of rough years, right? Like they're not going to be trash, but they're probably not primed to win. But for $140 million, I might be convinced to be on an average team.
I've always loved Minnesota. I love the cold weather.
Like it's cool.
88 million buys me a couple extra coats. I'm good.
Yep.
Is it
my heater just works overtime.
I mean, he's already been there, so I guess it's not that big of a stretch. He gets to stay and upgrade his lifestyle, and I mean, and he can go out there and make history. I mean, from a historical standpoint, wide receiver, I guess what we talking about? Randy Moss, basically, right? He got a chance to make a name for himself in Minnesota and
for sure,
and make some history out there. So I don't blame him for that. I'm kind of surprised because he probably would have made some more money somewhere else, but
I don't know if he would have made more guaranteed money somewhere else.
Yeah.
110. I mean, that is as close to a fully guaranteed contract as you can get.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that have money that are like you talk about T. Higgins. If they got Jefferson, the Higgins thing won't be an issue anymore. They won't be even trying to hold him anymore because they'll have theoretically the number one wide receiver and then chasing it together. You got to pay them both, but
they wouldn't have
a juggernaut in the AFC.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to do that, though. They can't afford that. That's why there's a question that T. Higgins remains at all, is because they can't afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No teams can really afford to pay 2 number 1 receiver contracts and a quarterback. Like,
I don't think you can try it.
It just means the rest of your team is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
like they better run block before they head out, and then turn around and catch a pass, and you basically have 2 seconds to throw it because
defense brought to you by Timu.
Yes.
No.
Hey, we need a defense. Yeah, we got a defense at home. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do. Oh man. So staying in the football realm, we were talking about the June 1st cuts and designation. You guys got some insights on that? What'd you pull from the since with June the 3rd? I had to look at the date. So June 1st. So everybody cut after this is going to save the team some money. Anybody that's notable that you saw that was like, wow, this is going to be helpful for the team? Any name that jumped out?
I haven't seen any that have been cut yet.
None yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen any that have been cut yet. It'll be interesting to see over this next week if somebody does get dropped, especially because some of the free agents that are still out there, you know, there's some people that you can still go grab that you can probably save some money on because it's late enough in the year. But yeah, I haven't seen anybody actually get cut yet. It's kind of a slow roll to it because usually that June 1st one comes and then there's like a group of dudes get nailed immediately. But I haven't seen that yet.
Oh yeah. It seems a little different this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Without question. All right. Well, I guess we're still waiting on that one. So we talked about guys that were up for, in rumors for being traded. Justin Jefferson was a name that was floated around. Didn't really think it was going to happen, but he floated around. We heard about the Jets. You even covered the bowl about him being showing up in Jersey. So everybody started going, "Oh my God, Jefferson's going to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers," but I never thought that was going to happen.
No.
Yeah. They got T. Higgins out there, named like Najee Harris. I'm like, look, he just got in Pittsburgh. Already in the trade rumor? Apparently so. Marshawn Lattimore, Cortland Sutton. There's several names of guys that are in that realm. What trade rumor do you guys like the most out of the ones that you've heard?
Maybe not the rumor, but I still really want to know what Brandon Ayuk is, what's going to go on there. I know they've said they've taken him back off the market. He's not showed up, at camp so far. So it's kind of like, to me, that's one of the bigger dominoes, as far as a team maybe needing a wide receiver. We've had our debates. I feel like he's a little bit more of a number 2 than a number 1, but he puts up number 1 numbers. So it's like, it's going to be interesting to see who makes a play for him. Do they feel like he puts them over the top? That's kind of where I want to see. And then what does it mean for San Francisco? Are you going to just hold on to him, make this last run before things, get expensive? So it's kind of like the actual all-in that the Dallas Cowboys are trying to do. And that's really where I want to see where he happens. But I haven't read any late, rumors lately on him, just that he's just not showing up. So
Ayuk's name has been pulled from the trade market and Debo's is not? Is that what happened?
No. They both are. So they both were a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So the real question is going to be, are they content with the fact that they know they're not going to be able to pay everybody and they're going to lose one for nothing next year, right? Because the contracts come up. So are they content with knowing they're going to lose one of the guys, make them play out the season? This is their all in. I mean, like we've talked about in previous shows, this is kind of their last spot because they're going to have to start paying guys. Naturally, you're going to lose players, right? So this is going to be the Niners' real last push with this group to get it done. If they're smart, you try and keep everybody and run this thing back one more time. I mean, you were close and have been close the last few years, and you can see the end of the tunnel coming. So, this is where I think you go ahead and double down on the roster you got. See if you can make it happen this one last time.
This is a strange strategy. Let a player go for nothing. That's a really strange strategy.
especially with some good value.
Yeah. You can still
I
franchise
get what you're saying, Bo. I get what you're saying about letting them play, kind of going all in. That phrase again, going
it's
all
only
in.
dumb if it don't work.
It works if you guys go to the Super Bowl and you win it.
Right.
It's like whatever.
Yep.
If the guys goes because guys are probably want to go somewhere else anyway after that because they can command more money. Probably gonna be at their highest of heights. So that makes sense. But if you don't do that, if you don't win it all, it's like okay, like you just got finished saying, one of those guys are probably gonna be leaving for nothing. It's like
well, I mean, it essentially comes down to because the strategy was the same. You either come out looking like the Rams, where they push all the chips to the middle and it works. They got a ring. They had to blow the thing up, right? But they got a ring. So no one can take that away. Or on the other end, they're the Saints, where they spent all that money. They pushed everything to the middle, and they were not good. And so that goes down as that looked like a terrible move. But
sorry,
really,
Kat,
they did the same thing. One was just successful and one wasn't.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said, sorry, Kat, if you're listening. She's a big Saints fan, so I know.
I mean,
as soon as somebody said Saints out of their mouth on this show, I think about it. I'm like, oh my God, did we lose Kat? She's still there.
But no, I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're trying for a ring, you have all the pieces.
Yep.
I mean, because realistically, a lot of other teams are taking a step back, so you're going to have probably the Eagles to deal with. Like they're going to be your biggest competitor in the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good morning, Raj. This is one half of the Herb and Raj podcast. Of course, you can see him on YouTube every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. CST. Morning, gents. I apologize for my tardiness. Herb said today's show was moved to 9 a.m. CST. Can't trust everybody.
I like that he just threw you straight under the bus.
Yes, with a lie, no less. Though, if I was the screenshot part, I'll show you the text on my phone that shows the real reason why he was late this morning. So
I can't wait for that. If you don't mind hooking it up, I can wait ahead of that. Can you go ahead and put it in there?
I said, "Wow!" So you text me an apology on my phone, but out there, he's like, "Here you go, Herb."
That is awesome.
You two guys are something
That's
else.
what I expect from my brother, though.
Yeah. So. Well, Rob, good to see your brother. You should be taking care of your brother. This is his birthday week. You should be taking care of him and giving him love, not giving him a hard time.
No, that didn't even last the whole day yesterday.
Wow and double wow. This is the best uncle in the world. Remember? Come on. Unbelievable. Give me a break. All right. So this is okay. So I'm with you guys about the Niners. I think that this is all the chips to the center of the table. This is it right here. I think I said that in previous weeks. I don't know about next year. I think this is it. You got to make this happen.
Yep.
Okay.
So how do you keep them happy enough to get through? I take my
pride in my life. I don't even know what that means. We'll talk about that offline. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so those are probably the two most marquee names free agents wise. I said, can you consider T. Higgins a free agent? Maybe not, but
I mean, he's still a potential trade piece.
Yeah. That would definitely be right there with Ayuk, to be honest, because you're thinking, the Bengals think that they're, got a great shot here, and then you're talking about two different teams. You try to keep maybe your second best wide receiver happy on both while you make a push. What's going to happen?
I think there's a distinct difference between the two because the Bengals are like they need a defense, right? Like they have problems with that roster, so I don't think they're let me keep this guy. We got a shot.
Got problems in the trenches, period.
Yeah.
And it hasn't fixed it. I don't know how long. They put bodies out there, but it has not changed anything.
Yeah, but when you look at the Niners,
me so much.
When you look at the Niners, they are a team that they have a roster that can win. Like you look at them, you're like, oh, that is a Super Bowl caliber team. Now, will they get it done? Who knows? But they have the roster that says they could win.
The Bengals can compete.
Yeah.
They can compete.
It always lies on Joe Burrow singularly.
Right.
Yeah, he has to play hero ball.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It lies on him. I'm like, that shouldn't be where the emphasis is, especially if your O-line's not great. Joe B gets hurt again. What are we talking about? We're back to where we were last year and the year before that. think the year before that too. So that's not.
I mean, he literally gets hurt every other year. So in theory, he'll stay healthy this year. But
another reason why I say that is not like I don't think they're in the class of 49ers, but I think because they rode Burrow to get to the Super Bowl, I think that Bengals fans feel like, oh, if he's healthy and we got, Chase and Higgins, we can do it. I agree there's a lot of other problems, but I think, especially in an offense-driven league, I think they just ignore that to say, hey, I think we've got a great shot. So
and of course,
that's why I say that.
All those teams make the comparison. KC won their first one with no defense. Right. They just outran everybody every game, and it worked out. But historically, it doesn't.
Right. No, I agree.
They were the exception to the rule.
Yeah. I like how Kansas City went no defense one year, no offense the next year. So this year it's going to be all special teams, nothing but field goals.
Hey, let's go.
Kicks, run back.
I want to see that.
That new kickoff rule coming in big.
I want to see that.
They're going to set the record.
It feels like they're winning no matter what they do. That has to be frustrating. It frustrates me. I might be a Chiefs fan. How you keep winning and nothing? It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's strange. But okay, so
you got dudes that can't catch the ball. Somehow you still get it done.
I don't understand how it's happening.
Yeah,
I'm not giving that certain person any credit for any of this stuff. I know people have done that. Oh, it's magic charm is crap. I'm not doing that. But
something. They said, hey, I know you didn't catch a ball all regular season. I just need you to catch it in the playoffs so we go to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I will.
And then convince other teams that are running the ball well on you to stop running, like some Jedi mind trick. And hey,
don't even try and run it.
So that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Hurt said, when does football season start? You ain't lying. Yesterday had me a little bit of some withdrawals. Now there's a whole renovation. There's all types of stuff going on in this house. So plenty of stuff to keep me busy. But yesterday I was like looking around, like looking at the clocks and my phone and my watch. I'm like, ain't no football happening. I mean, the UFL's there. It's happening. It's going on. Their fourth quarter, man, to be fair, man, their fourth quarters are amazing. I don't care the team stinks. They got that part right. Every game, I don't care they 1-8. I don't care what it is. Their fourth quarters, every game are spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome things are happening every single one. No exception. Across the board, they're not really planning for that. It's not really there. I can't give credit to them for it, but that's what's happening in every single game. Fourth quarters are amazing. It's the first three quarters that we got problems with. Low scoring, no offense, no defense, nothing. Well, defense, I guess, is kind of there, but offense is not really happening. But that fourth quarter, it's amazing. But that's the extent of football right there. I'm like, I'm ready for the next part. It's like June. I'm counting the days. Like, okay, I'm ready for preseason. Believe it or not, are you guys in the same spot? Are you ready to actually see preseason ball? Have you suffered enough? You want to see preseason ball now, or you not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always ready for football.
Yeah. I will complain about how bad preseason is and be sitting there just watching it. Like, God, this is
same here.
This is awful. You know, you can watch something else. Hush.
Yeah, nobody wants that negativity.
Yeah.
Who dare speak those travesties out of their mouth?
Yeah. And then, like, for me, it's not even just NFL. You know, with college, we lost our coach. So it's like you really want to see what the next era is going to be. So like this season is even more nervous energy than anything. So it's definitely like I'm just ready. You know,
anything encouraging on that front?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, first off, anybody's got the cojones to come in after Saban, he's already going to get backing, you know, and it's going to be a different style. Offense should be better. Maybe defense takes a step back. Who knows? But there's always an excitement going into every year. And now it's like, hey, you really got to see what your product is. You know, you can only tell so much from practices and what people say, you know, and you read an Alabama writer, he's going to tell you like all the positives, and outside people are going to tell you all the negatives, but you don't know until they get on the field. So I'm waiting to see the product. I think it'll be good. I think he's got a good coaching staff behind him, and he was left a lot of talent, but the college football world's also changing, you know, with the transfer portal.
Are you watching games to kind of give you an idea of what you could expect? Are you watching any of those games from last year?
What do you mean? No, because I think it's going to be a totally different thing. I don't think any of our games from last year are really going to play into this year. You know, like, well, take Milroe, you know. last year the mid-range, passing was not there. So has it improved with an offensive coach, or is he being pushed by, the next guys? Are we going to see one of those other guys step up if he falters? So this could be a very, very interesting year at the quarterback spot. So.
Yeah. Got lights blinking in here.
I saw him looking up, and I was like, "Is he looking up at us, or is something bad about to happen?"
No. I'm watching the lights. I'm like, man, come on. I mean, on the plus side, even if it does go out, we made it through the show.
Yeah, there you go. If it goes off during the outro, I'm gonna be like, wow, it just drug him to the end.
Right? Like almost made it. It's that dude with the dollar.
I think we're good to go, man. 5 minutes is like, okay, I think we should be safe.
Well, and on that front, then I think you guys would have the same thing. All three of us have teams kind of in flux, losing coaches, moving to a new league, you know what I mean? It's just like, this is going to be a crazy new year, expanded playoffs. I mean, there's a lot going on going into this next year in college football too as well. So
no doubt. I'm a little sad. My school is probably not going to have a great season.
Next week, we're going to talk about all of them next week. We can go ahead and get into all of that. So I think it's going to be a nice conversation because there is a lot of nervous energy and trying to figure out what's going to happen. I mean, even in the pros too, same thing. I'm like, I don't know OTAs. I don't care about nothing that's happening. That's why I don't mention it. Just now. Other than that, I don't care. That's not what I want to see. I want to see in-game stuff because that's what matters, and that's when you see the whole playbook come out. That stuff going on in shorts. So I don't care about that part. But college and NFL is always compelling for us. This is a football show at the end of the day, and we love it. We love talking about it. One quick note. I was going to talk about the NFL schedule in the past couple of weeks, but we couldn't get around to it. But it seems like the plan for the NFL is to play a game every single day of the week. Now, for us, I'm like, okay, I can get with that 7 days a week. My wife ain't going to like that. But 7 days a week, NFL every single day of the week,
there's no way.
I mean, it's already getting ready to start happening. It's already planned out. We added the holidays, everything. You got a Friday and Saturday, which is already happening during Thanksgiving time. You got Sunday, obviously. You got Monday. You got Thursday, obviously. So Tuesday and Wednesday is the weird part, but they got that on the schedule. I had it in the notes.
Tuesday. I know they have Wednesday for Christmas Day, but that's it.
Yeah, Tuesdays. They got that one too. I think it's out of the country. I think it's a Germany game. I'll find it and send it to you. But so that means 7 days a week. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I'm like 7 days a week. Is this a thing? And I think Goodell is trying. I don't know. This is a master plan. I'm like, you're talking about how fans want football more than than anything or whatever. Something he phrased it that way. I'm like, okay, we love football and everything, but 7 days a week. Wow, that's aggressive. It probably can't happen every single year, but apparently they're trying to make that work, especially with the new Netflix deal. So somehow that's connected with that as well. But I know you guys are going to have
the Wednesday game. That's
the Christmas Day game. 7 days a week, or even more than 4 days a week. We're in because we love football and we love talking about it, having it on our shows. And look at this, my wife came inside there.
Chiming in, I like it. I like it.
What a way to end this show. This is the showstopper. Baby, I love you. This is awesome.
Straight called out.
But I'm not wrong, am I, though? Oh, 7 days a week of football? You don't even want that life. You kidding me? I'll be in front of a computer writing stuff on index cards. You don't want me to do that. But it's all good, though. I love it. All right. And Mama's in the house. Have a fabulous week. Thank you, Mom. And thank you to my queen up in here representing. All right, guys. Tell them where they can find your shows and your work that you got going on out there. Promote it, baby. Come on.
At Raj Herb on Twitter. You can find all our stuff there. Herb and Raj Podcast if you go to YouTube. We also on Spotify. And then, like I said, tomorrow night, Herb's birthday bash. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube or on our channel.
Are we invited?
Of course. I hope. I'm not in charge. I'm just showing up. So I might do tomorrow night show in a bathrobe.
The guest list. I didn't get nothing from Rod. Did you, Bo?
What's that?
Rod put you on the guest list, on the VIP list? Were you invited?
Oh no.
Oh,
he's like.
Okay. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. So now I know that it's been okay. We all been excluded except for her.
I'm on that excluded list.
Amazing. Thanks, Raj. Go ahead, Bo. Where can they find you, brother?
All right. So you can obviously find me on this Monday thing every morning. And then, on my channel at Football Talk, all the socials at Football Talk with Bo.
All righty. Well, it's been a great show as usual. The football show talks about everything else.
That's right.
It's been a great time. We love it, man. Have a great day wherever you are and however you're listening. Enjoy. And if you haven't already missed us, get on YouTube. Check out the replay. Have a great day. Let's talk soon.